Hello. This is Carolina Gilcapi. I'm the founder of State Adventures, and I have been specializing in Latin America for the last 17 years. I have put together a trip to Ecuador and Peru for you, as I sent you in a PDF, but I thought it would be so much easier for you to understand the trip, how everything works, the logistics, what we can do, and what we can tweak to make the trip your own by hopping on here and going through the itinerary together. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll look at the itinerary together. That was a picture of my husband and I doing a tango class because I had to take a group of 10 to Buenos Aires last month, so don't mind me. Here we go. So Ecuador and Peru 2023. These dates are around the cruise that departs in October. So it's the Ocean Spray. They're having a special just for us. And that is why these are the dates that I use. Now, if you want to tweak the dates, if your group prefers to travel a little earlier, a little later, or anything else, just let me know and I will see what we can do. But right now it is around October for the Ocean Spray. We arrived to Quito. I'm going to have my team pick you up from the airport. This is a fully private trip. So a guide will be picking you up with a State Adventure sign with your names on it, and a driver will be there to take you in a private car to your hotel. The hotel that I chose is the Plaza Grande. Why? Because the location is stunning. It's a historical building. So you wake up and you know you're in Ecuador. It doesn't feel like a business hotel or anything like that. The suites here are really beautiful. And I've been working with this hotel for more than 10 years. So I know that they treat my clients well. October 10th, the same guy that would have picked you up from the airport will come back and show you the highlights of Quito. Quito is a really great, colorful colonial city surrounded by volcanoes. So you can take a gondola to the top of Pichincha. There are great museums. There's an old square with the cathedral that has gargoyles, the shape of animals from the Amazon and the Galapagos. So lots of interesting stops. We can tweak this day tour any way you'd like. We can do chocolate tasting. We can do ice cream tasting. We can go on a hike to the top of Pichincha. And of course, we're going to visit the equator line, which is famous here. You can do some experiments. It's a lot of fun to stand on two sides of the equator at once. And then the following day, October 11th, we are going to step away from the city for to kind of get an idea of what it is to live in the Andes of Ecuador. So we're going to go to Cotopaxi National Park, private driver, private guide. We're going to stop along the way at villages and markets. We're going to have a traditional lunch with local gauchos, local cowboys of Ecuador. There'll be horses to ride. There'll be trails to hike. There's lagoons. There's lots to see and do in this beautiful place of this underneath this active volcano. So quite exciting and very different from Quito itself. So I always like to kind of pull you away and show you something else. I want to mention that the BLD, whatever you see under each date, those are the meals that are included. So breakfast is always a lovely affair at every hotel in South America. And then I included a number of lunches when we're doing excursions. I don't like to include all your meals because this is your trip. And at night, maybe you want to enjoy just hanging out at the hotel or getting room service or exploring some restaurants on your own. If I pre-book every meal, then you're stuck with the tourist set menu, and I don't like that. Just so you know, but of course we have recommendations for all kinds of restaurants. I will literally travel to Quito just to taste a new restaurant. I just did that in December. Nuema is one of the best restaurants in South America. They just won a title for top restaurant in Ecuador. And my husband and I flew down just to get a tasting and meet the chef. So I know all the good restaurants. Don't worry about that. October 12th is when we'll go to the Galapagos. So this is when the cruise begins. So we'll take you to the airport. I will have an airport assistant waiting for you there. He will walk you through all the steps, the ID cards, the entry tickets, the customs. They will check your bag. They will even check your shoes for seeds. This is a really protected area. We want to make sure that it stays around for, our great grandkids to enjoy as well. Once you land in the Galapagos, it's about a 2-hour flight. The team from Ocean Spray will be there to pick you up. And Ocean Spray is a great 16-person catamaran. It's been around for quite a while. I've been to the Galapagos 4 times and I have done the catamaran and I really love it. It is very stable. Some of the most stable boats in the Galapagos are catamarans because it has the double hulls and it cuts through the waves way easier. So it's eco-friendly and a green option in the island. So that's always a plus, but it also means it's traveling faster. So you're spending more time on the islands, less time traveling from place to place. I love that about these new catamarans that have been added to the islands. Very fresh, very modern atmosphere on board. So it's a great crew. All the guides in the Galapagos are trained by the government. So they're all coming out of the same education level. It is a very coveted job to have in Ecuador to be a Galapagos guide. It's kind of a lifelong thing. So you will be in great hands. The cruise includes everything. So all your excursions, you're going to be getting off the boat at least twice a day to go snorkeling, to go swimming, to go hiking. There are beaches, white sand, red sand, black sand from the volcanic rock. So lots of different adventures. There are kayaks. There are different colonies of animals that you're going to be visiting. So I included the itinerary on here to kind of give you the gist of what you'll be doing, but plenty of opportunity, not only to see as much as possible, but also plenty of opportunity to rest. There are these pockets of time where you will just have beach time or just have boat time where you can lounge around on the top deck and really soak in the Galapagos. So a great itinerary. Of course, the giant tortoise plantations will be visited as well. Now the trip ends from the Galapagos here on October 17th. October 17th, we take you back to the airport, fly you back to the mainland of Ecuador, and here we will connect with a flight to Lima, Peru. So we're continuing now from Ecuador to Peru. We will meet you at the Lima airport. This is my Peruvian team, and we will take you to downtown Miraflores, which is a great little neighborhood on the ocean. And we will stay there for 2 nights at the Iberostar. I really like this property. I was just there in February. I stayed there with my daughter before we went to the Amazon. And it's great location. I mean, you walk outside, 5-minute walk, and you're at the Lovers Park overlooking the Pacific Ocean, very lively. You can walk to Malecon, which is a huge outdoor mall kind of atmosphere. So you have the ocean on one side, you have restaurants, you have some shopping. So if you want to have a little break, that is a perfect place to do it. Life happens outside here. So the hotel has a great rooftop, a pool, really nice property. And on October 18th, my Lima team will come pick you up and show you the best of Lima. Lima is a much bigger modern city than Quito, but in the middle of it all, there are ruins that were just discovered maybe 8 years ago. So a restaurant was built here. So instead of just seeing Lima, you know, the buildings and the history, we will create a tour that is a tasting tour as well. So not only will you see the highlights of Lima, but you will also taste your way along the city, have a pisco sour, learn how to make one, go to the ruins for lunch. So lots of really fun things planned for you in Lima. And now we are going to the heart of Peru, to the Inca Citadel, to the Inca Triangle, Sacred Valley, Cusco, and Machu Picchu. So we're going to take a flight to Cusco. It's about a 50-minute flight, very short. And once you land, you're at really high altitude, so we whisk you away to Sacred Valley. Sacred Valley is that countryside between Cusco and Machu Picchu, so it's perfect. It's 2,000 feet lower, so it really helps you acclimate, much easier to breathe. And it is filled with indigenous communities and markets and Inca ruins and all these awesome places that are perfect for exploring while we are acclimating. So we're going to stay in this area for 48 hours to let our bodies, you know, do our thing and acclimate to the altitude. And in the meantime, we will explore. So the first day when you arrive to Sacred Valley, we will see Maras and Moray and Salineras. These are Inca laboratories, salt laboratories, really fascinating things because the Sacred Valley is all green and brown, you know, it's mountains and grass. But when you come around the bend, everything is white and covered in salt. And the ladies in their colorful dresses are still working the salt. So it is a photographer's dream here, really. But there's not a lot of walking, so it's the perfect activity to do when you just arrive in high altitude. We will take you to Iskay Maras, which is a local home farm to table restaurant by reservation only, by invitation only. So we will have a beautiful welcome to Peru lunch here, and then take you to a hotel. The Aranwa is a great property where we can rest and really acclimate. Lots of different amenities, lots of different space. If you get a second wind, you can walk around. There's acres of land that they own. And on the 20th, we're going to head back out to see the best of Sacred Valley. We're going to go to Pisac, which is the largest indigenous market in all of South America. It is also ruins amongst the market, and Ollantaytambo, which is a huge Incan complex of ruins. Fabulous, fabulous place because it's all outside. There's a village that is kind of built all around the ruins. So you see culture, you have cultural interaction. We're going to have a really great lunch here called pachamanca. Pachamanca is a traditional meal in Peru that's cooked underneath the ground. It takes hours and hours. So we prepare that in the morning while you're all hiking and enjoying the markets and ruins. And then you go to have pachamanca. The ladies are, this is just one community that lives here in the Andes. Really fascinating. I've spent many, many times coming to Ecuador and Peru, just meeting the indigenous communities. We actually sponsor one community called Bisminay. So for every client that visits Peru, we are able to send some money to Bisminay community, really high up in the Andes. And that helped them, especially during COVID when there were no visitors at all. So just wanted you to know that it's such a special part of the Sacred Valley is the people. October 21st, this is the day we're going to Machu Picchu. We'll pick you up, take you to the train station, private car, of course. And on the train, which is the Vista Dome, it looks like this. It has a glass dome ceiling. It's about a 2-hour ride to Machu Picchu. And once you arrive, we have a private guide from Machu Picchu, an expert of the ruins, pick you up from the train and take you for a private tour of the Citadel. Really special. And a lot of people will do that and then go right back to Cusco on the evening train. And I think that is just the craziest thing. Machu Picchu is the highlight. So we always have you spend the night in the village at the Machu Picchu Casa del Sol or one of the other little hotels here, because that will allow us the next morning to rise with the sun and return to the ruins. Why are we returning to Machu Picchu for a second time? Because at sunrise, there are only, there's a fraction of people at the ruins. So it's completely different atmosphere. About 500 people are allowed at 7 a.m. and another 500 at 10 a.m. to the Huayna Picchu peak. And then also the lighting is completely different because it's sunrise and the sun kind of like changes colors. So fantastic for photography. And because Machu Picchu is at the mouth of the Amazon, there's a big chance that the day before it might have rained or have a shower. So if you're coming a second time, there's another opportunity to have beautiful weather at the ruins. So I really recommend it. If you guys are not hikers and if you don't want to hike the Huayna Picchu Peak, no worries. There are so many different trails that my guides can take you on. We can go to the Sun Gate, which is a completely flat trail, but the Sun Gate is very special because it's the entry to the Inca Trail. So it's a famous, famous place. So don't worry about hiking. The whole idea is to come back to the site one more time in the morning. Then we'll have lunch leisurely and then return to Cusco by train in the afternoon. So here is just a quick glimpse over the ruins. As you see, it's a massive, massive complex. So if you just go one day, you might just visit one part of it because there's so much to explore. Huayna Picchu is this famous peak here in the back. It's always in the back of every photo. That is where you can climb at sunrise if you choose to. If not, then you go to the Inca Trail entry, which is the Sun Gate, which is right around the bend here. No climbing at all. And in Cusco, this is time to reflect on our trip. We have now been traveling for 2 weeks straight. I chose a JW Marriott, and I am not a fan of chains, but the JW Marriott did a beautiful job in Cusco. I inspected it over Thanksgiving of last year, and what they did is they took an old convent, which was then later a monastery, which then was abandoned for like 80 years, and they completely refurbished it. But every time they started digging, they found some Inca wall or some artifacts from the Incas. So the archaeologists would swarm the place. And it took like 8 years to open the hotel because of that. But instead of fighting history, they actually kind of embraced it, and they opened a gallery inside the hotel of all the artifacts that they found. that were not taken to a museum. So it's a beautiful, beautiful property, perfect location, and a perfect place to relax after all your travels. So we're going to arrive here in the evening. The next day you can sleep in. Our Cusco guide will pick you up, show you the highlights of Cusco, which is a great cobblestone city, before flying home on October 24th. So you have 2 nights in Cusco. That is what the 16-day trip would look like. If you have more time, I have more ideas. We can add the Amazon jungle. We can go down the Amazon River in a cruise. I just did an Amazon cruise with, you know, plunge pools and beautiful rooms and really being spoiled in the jungle in between the excursions. There's so many different things that we can add. Lake Titicaca as well is very popular. Peru is open, is safe, is beautiful. I have gone with my children. I have been a number of times hiking the different peaks and comparing different hotels. So please reach out anytime for any questions. I didn't go into the details, like all the little meals that I included, but read through the itinerary and let me know what your thoughts are. This trip is private. So based on 2 people with the cruise and all the 16 days of touring is $12,499 per person. If you have 4 people or 6 people or 8 people, no worries, the price will just decrease with every couple that joins, because we're splitting the cost of the cars, the cost of the guides, and so on and so on. So let me know your thoughts. I am here to help you make the best of your time in Ecuador and Peru, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Happy travels.